Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share with you International Energy Agency's views on energy, nuclear energy in particular, and climate change. We are at the IAEA very fortunate experts because we have all the energy data at our fingertips. Make our judgments, recommendations, analysis based on data. When we look at the last year, 2018 energy data, we see a few interesting points. Number one, global energy demand last year increased the strongest in the last 10 years, about 2.3%, a very strong growth. More importantly, electricity demand increased even 2 times higher than the energy demand. In fact, this is an ongoing trend, and we expect this trend to continue, and the growth of electricity is very, very pertinent and much higher than energy demand. As such, we believe electricity is the future. But coming back to 2018 again, despite the growth in renewable energies, in solar, wind, and others, we saw last year global emissions increased and reached a record high. 2018 global CO2 emissions reached a record high. And as such, a key message for me is that there is a growing and dangerous disconnect between the climate ambitions, reports, meetings, government intentions, and what is happening in the real life. More and more reports, stronger ambitions, more speeches, like mine here, and we saw that the emissions still do increase. Therefore, we believe, and we believe very strongly at the IAEA, we have to look at all clean energy technologies to make most of those options. Renewable energies, solar and wind, are definitely important parts of this picture, but we also think that the nuclear power, carbon capture and utilization and storage, and other clean energy technologies are important. In that context, we have very recently made a report on nuclear energy. Many of you may know, and I hope you know, looking at the current state of play in nuclear power, it is importance in terms of the climate change and also electricity security, and what are the recommendations for the governments around the world. And our numbers show that today, nuclear power is the second largest clean electricity source, following the all renewables put together. And in the advanced economies, in the developed economies, it is number one, about 18% share of total electricity generation. But ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the future, we have all the reasons to be worried from a nuclear point of view, but also for the CO2 emissions point of view. Nuclear fleet around the world is today aging, and we don't see a major new activity in most of the developed countries, and even the lifetime extensions are becoming a major challenge. Our numbers show that without change in the policies of advanced economies, this 18% share in the total electricity generation will go down sharply to 6%. And as such, reaching our climate targets will be even more difficult. We think there is a role for governments, those governments especially who take the climate change and electricity security seriously to provide support for the existing power plants, providing the framework conditions for lifetime extensions, and also for all the countries around the world to look at the new technologies such as SMRs. SMRs, small modular reactors, are very promising technologies, and they can be of great help for developed and developing countries to meet their growing electricity demand. To finish, dear colleagues, we believe the challenge of climate change is a great one, difficult one, especially when we look at the numbers today, CO2 emissions, and the energy sector. We need all technologies to be part of the game. I know that some of us like this technology, the other one favor the other technology. But we do not have the luxury to pick up our favorite technologies. The time is not the time of boosting our own egos, but to reduce the CO2 emissions. And here we need nuclear power together with other clean technologies. Thank you very much.